cameras here, monitor here, and a big monitor over there. I also have live people here in the kitchen that will torment me and comment on me as I cook through the spicy ramen noodle bowl. Now, the spicy ramen noodle bowl is there's a lot of steps to this. Okay, I have videos up. I have videos up about making some of the steps in this spicy ramen. Don't hesitate to comment, because I do love to see the comments. I'm going to pull this over a little bit closer. Hello, Joanne, Jane, K-Fizz, Madison, every one of you in chat. Now, don't be shy. I would love to see a message from you, so do not be shy. I started this stream just a little bit early because this recipe, chat, I'm going to just say this recipe is very complex. Now, I always feel like somebody's watching me. I feel like this is like a Christmas dinner. If you grew up in a household where spicy ramen or ramen in general was made from scratch, leave me a message down below. I want to hear from you. Was it a big event? Because I feel like this is a really big event. Now, confession right up front, most of the things that could be made here in the kitchen, I made them myself. Me, Ransom Ryder. I made them myself. I will confess, the noodles are store-bought. They are fresh, but I did buy the noodles. I just, I'm not a noodle maker. So these have been bought. But otherwise, the kimchi has been made from scratch here in the kitchen, or as we say back home, from scraps. The kimchi was made here. I prepared the chicken here. Many of the things that could be done were done here. Now, I want to start out, as always, this is the official Destiny cookbook. You've seen me use this. And this is kind of like the epitome, word of the day, epitome. This is like the epitome of the spicy ramen. I feel like it is the recipe in the book. This is the recipe in the book. Because we all know and love Clyde-6, one of the characters in the game. Cade has been away for a couple of years, but Cade's coming back. Cade is coming back. We're taking a journey into the Traveler. The Traveler gave us our light. He gave us our super abilities inside of the game. He's the reason we're here, the Traveler. But the Witness has invaded. He's an all-powerful being that may be on the same level as the Traveler. We don't know. Things have yet to be revealed. The spicy ramen. I'm going to be making this. There's an overhead camera. I don't know if it will the overhead camera, let me put this out there where you can see it. Okay, I don't have my camera legs just yet, but I hope you can see that. Shout out to Victoria Rosenthal, who did the cookbook. The cookbook is written from the perspective of Eva Levante. Eva Levante is in town. We're experiencing a holiday season. At the time of this filming, this live stream, Eva's in town. And I'm excited about Eva's presence because she's got a lot of really good things that I want to be earning. Okay, difficulty is medium. Now, I'm going to take this out of the cookbook and tell you what she says. Difficulty is medium. Prep time is 1.5 hours. Cook time is 1 hour. Yields 4 servings. Dietary notes. This is dairy-free. Dairy-free. I will be using chicken in this recipe. Now, here's how she opens up spicy ramen. Spicy ramen has been a staple here in the tower for as long as I can remember, highlighting an incredible combination of flavors and spices. This is one of the best recipes that Golden Age has to offer. And I did make this in advance. I have made this one time in advance to practice. It's a complex recipe, and Victoria, This needs to be listed as difficult, Not even the Red Legion could bring down those golden noodles swimming in rich, flavorful broth. Now, the spiced chicken, I have cooked the chicken earlier. It was a lot to do, so I did not do it live. But this is chicken thighs that I deboned and really let soak for a couple of hours in the sashimi togarashi sauce or powder, sashimi togarashi. And sashimi togarashi, it's a really phenomenal rub that she has in the cookbook. I want to just turn back to it and talk a little bit about what the spice is that's in this chicken, that the chicken is spiced with. Where are you, sashimi togarashi? All right, let's see if you can see that. They're going to pop my camera over so you can see. This is sashimi togarashi. Now, if I mispronounce words through this, send me some hate mail. I'll try to get back to you. Okay, this sashimi togarashi, which the chicken is rubbed with, was 2 oranges zested, 1 teaspoon Szechuan peppercorns, 1 teaspoon black peppercorns, 1/3 cup red pepper flakes, 2 teaspoons white sesame seeds, 2 teaspoons of black sesame seeds, 1 sheet of nori, 2 teaspoons of garlic. You combined all that, you whipped it, you said some magic words, and voila, you've got sashimi togarashi. It sounds like a battle plan out of Star Trek. But I will say, having tried it once, loved it. I absolutely loved it. So before I go any further in the cookbook, I want to get my dried mushrooms, which I have here. Now these mushrooms are actually, these are dried. These ones are dried. And this is shiitake mushrooms, and these are about 10 dried shiitake mushrooms. Let me get something to pull this lid up because this pot is hot. The pot is hot, and I'm working with it hot. We're making it fresh. So these are going to go in the dried shiitake mushrooms, and that needs to simmer in the pot. We're live, I'm okay, the pot's okay. Those need to simmer for about 10 minutes, and they're gonna get tender and they're gonna offer a lot of flavor. Now, I hate a mess. If you have cooked with me in the past, you will know that I hate a mess, and that's dashi stock. Now, luckily, I had a little bit of extra dashi stock in the pot because I kind of anticipated something going wrong. But it's okay, and it's boiling, and probably those mushrooms reacted with the dashi stock. Let's see now if it's just going to simmer. I don't want that to boil over like that. And we did have an immediate reaction. The dashi didn't like the mushrooms. I'm going to set that to the side, out of the way. Now, I'm going to refer back to the cookbook. The shiitake mushrooms dried, they go in, they're going to simmer. Now, she starts out with the chicken, and I'm going to read you the chicken. You just heard the sashimi togarashi. This is made here. This is it. I put it in a little container, wrote the ingredients or the list of what it is on there. I wanted to show you that. I'm sharing. I am sharing. Combine the sashimi togarashi in a small bowl and rub into the chicken thighs. Heat a pan with 2 teaspoons of canola oil over medium-high heat. I use peanut oil. You know, peanut oil is a nice stable oil. It will evenly distribute the heat from your heat source. Peanut oil. She does use canola. Place the chicken thighs skin side down and cook until it turns golden brown, about 5 to 8 minutes. And I followed her instructions explicitly on this. If I deviate from Victoria Rosenthal's instructions in the cookbook, I will tell you, the chicken was fixed exact. But having said that, if you have a big, thicker chicken thigh, These were really kind of on the smaller side. I would say small to medium chicken thighs, but I've seen some big chicken thighs out there. So adjust your cooking time because you want your chicken thoroughly cooked. Thoroughly cook it, Guardians. Cook until it turns golden brown. You could actually take a temperature reading on your chicken and check, what does chicken need to be cooked to? 165?
165. Mm-hmm.
Chicken needs to be cooked to a temperature of about 165. I'm just verifying with Tech, who is here in the room with me, keeping the watch on me. I might go wild and crazy. Flip and cook the chicken until it's cooked all the way through, about 5 minutes, but that could vary. Transfer to a cutting board, allow it to rest for 5 minutes, cut it into strips. I did that, here it is. It's delicious, I tasted it. Guardians, as you're cooking through on any recipe that maybe you're not familiar with, don't hesitate to taste along the way. You know, grab a tasting spoon, grab a fork, and just taste and say, you know, this is good or it's not. If it's not good, don't use it or start over or adjust the recipe. The chicken's delicious, so I'm A-okay with it. And the spice, yeah, make that spice. So, 2 quarts of dashi stock, that's here. This is what just boiled over on me. 2 quarts of dashi stock from page 24. Now, as these are cooking, I'm going to go back to page 24 and just share with you really what is the majority of, the bulk of this dish is dashi stock, right? And it is fairly easy to make, but it's maybe made out of things that you're not familiar with. Page 24. Let's go back. Let's go back. And I'm going to read to you dashi stock. This is one of the quintessential recipes of many Japanese restaurants back during the Golden Age. I feel like it's the quintessential recipe for a lot of Japanese and Asian restaurants and a lot of families who love these kinds of foods. Dashi stock. The ramen shop in the tower goes through at least 25 batches a day. Now, the dashi stock is listed, I'm going to show this to you. Can you see that? Maybe the overhead camera can pick it up. Dashi stock. Difficulties medium. Prep time is 4 hours. Cook time is 15 minutes. It yields 3 cups. She uses this in the spicy ramen and the French onion recipe out of the cookbook. I've just used it in the spicy ramen. This is 1 4x4 piece of kombu that you would need to use, and 3 cups water, 1 cup dried bonita flakes. Kombu is kelp, or is it seaweed? It's kelp. It's kelp. Kombu is kelp. It smells like fish. It smells like seaweed. If you've ever visited, you know, the beach or been out on the ocean, it smells like the ocean, seaweed. The bonita flakes, 1 cup of dried bonita flakes, that is thinly sliced tuna, usually smoked, and it's like paper thin. But you boil that, cook it with that kelp, and you can let it sit in the refrigerator overnight, bring it out, bring it up. And I have videos, by the way, up on my channel if you want more details about the dashi stock and the sashimi togarashi, which sounds like a Star Trek movie. Okay, back to what we're doing right now. So these need to be in this dashi stock for about 10 minutes, because what we're doing with these, we're actually just pulling the flavor out. We want the flavor pulled out and to incorporate with this dashi stock. I can smell it. The aroma is very intense. You know, it has that slight fish smell of the tuna from the dashi stock. But what's going to happen, it's going to blend with all these other flavors. I have a lot of dishes here on the table. It's going to blend with these flavors, and it's going to make a delicious ramen bowl. And Guardians, chatters, viewers, subscribers, everyone out there, you're going to like this. You're going to like it a lot. I know I really loved it. Now, we are live in 43 different countries, so hello to everyone across the world. if you play Destiny 2, I want you to come in and hang out with me. Many of you in chat do hang out on a regular basis. And thank you for that, because I need friends. I need lots and lots of friends. Okay, spicy ramen. 2 quarts of dashi stock, yes. 3 dried shiitake mushrooms. And there might have been, give or take, a mushroom or 2. There was probably some extra. Plus 10 fresh shiitake mushroom stems removed and sliced. So I have the fresh shiitake mushrooms, and I have prepared them. Hey, be ready. The right equipment matters. So you might be able to see these on the overhead camera. These are fresh shiitake. Now, I've prepared these because otherwise you and I would have been hanging out together for 6 hours, because this is a complex, throw it on the floor and leave it. I have a trash can there. This is a complex recipe. The mushrooms, they are big, firm, meaty-like mushrooms. I really, really like them. You would just take a really sharp knife and you would slice these into the size that you like. And I'm going to say, I really like, is the camera picking that up, Ted?
Oh, yeah.
A little bit of it. Sharp knives matter. Bring the proper tool. And you're going to throw these in. And they're going to add an abundance of really fresh flavor, because these are fresh shiitake mushrooms. And they have a different profile, a flavor profile, over the dried shiitake mushrooms. And these, I probably got a few extra over what she said, because I really like the mushrooms. I like what it does, the flavor that it imparts. Now, these I need to take out. We're going to have to remove these. Let's go back to the cookbook. I want to do it the right way. Let's do it the right way. Place the dashi stock with dried shiitake mushrooms in a 3-quart saucepan over medium-high heat. Bring to a simmer for 10 minutes. Remove the mushrooms. Set the broth aside. So we're going to want to remove the mushrooms. These are chewy, so we want to get them out. Now, luckily, I have a couple of extra bowls just to do that, because these will probably go into the composter. These will be composted at some point. I'm going to turn my heat down just a tad, because this is going to be set to the side. I'm going to set this to the side. All right, let's scoop these dried mushrooms out. They did their work. The flavor has been pulled from them. They did their work. Now, if you eat these, leave a comment. What do you do with your shiitake mushrooms once they've been stewing, simmering, in the broth? What do you do with them? And I hope the overhead camera is giving you a look at this really thick, wonderful base. It's like a soup base, really. That's what it is. But you could actually, even before I added the mushrooms, you could have had a bowl of this. You could have had a bowl with a nice crusty bread, a cracker, followed by a little shot of sake, some sake. And I have used sake in one of the ingredients. We're going to get to it. Hang with me. Don't go away, because I want you to eventually see what this called, why I have used sake. All right, I'm going to set these aside. I don't think I'm going to need those again. Get out of here, mushrooms. Get out of here. Okay, now this, I think I can now take it off the heat. And I'm going to have to set up, I've got to set up for the onions, or the scallions rather, the garlic. We're going to fry some of these ingredients that I have out prepared for you. Hello? Hello? And I'll be right back. I will be right back. Hang with me. I'm going to bring my other pot up and get set up. All right, Guardians, I am back. I am back. I've pulled the hot pot off. This is my dashi stock, and we're going to move forward into some of these other ingredients Now I'm going to take this lid off. I'm going to take the lid off, set it to the side. Let me move this away. This is hot. Use caution. I don't think I'm going to need the lid a lot anymore, so get rid of it. Now, this pot is hot. I have this preheated on the oven. This is, this is cast iron, so it takes a little while to warm up and really get going, and you need this to be hot. Now, she calls for canola oil. Let's move right into the next step. We're on to the next step. The dashi stock is, got partially completed what needed to be done. Place a large pot with 2 teaspoons of canola oil over medium-high heat. Add the fresh shiitake mushrooms and cook until the edges are crispy. All right, so we're going to move on to the fresh shiitake mushrooms, and we want the edges to be crispy. I'm just going to eyeball this. Better a little bit of extra oil than too dry. So I've got that. I want to put my fresh mushrooms in. And I can hear the heat. Woo! Stand back. Now, I like this big spoon. I'm going to continue to use it. I hope you're getting a great overhead shot of this, Guardians, chatters, because mushrooms, you either love them or you hate them. I mean, is there an in-between? I do like a good creamy mushroom soup, and I think these would probably be excellent for a good mushroom soup. Now, I want a little bit more oil. I want the edges to be crispy. And I'm not shy about oil. You can always drain them if you get too much. Now, she says about 8 minutes. But remember, it depends on, what level of heat that you're putting these mushrooms on. And I can smell them and actually see them browning up on the bottom. Now remember, that's stuck on the bottom, tons of flavor. Don't be concerned about a couple of mushrooms sticking on the bottom, because that eventually is going to come up, and that will be tons of flavor. I'm going to continue to stir these. And then we're going to take a look at getting ready for the next step. All right, next step. So large pot, 2 tablespoons of oil, medium-high heat, fresh shiitake mushrooms. Cook until the edges are crispy. Transfer the mushrooms to a plate. Transfer these to a plate. Now luckily, I have prepared, and I've got all kinds of extra plates, bowls, you name it, I've got it over here ready to go. And once we get these done, we're going to talk about a few of the other steps in this recipe. This is like Christmas dinner size. That's why when I said earlier in the live stream, if you made this regularly, did you skip some of the steps? Did you buy the noodles from the store like I did? Tell me what you may have changed. What did you change? And these recipes, I'm going to say it, many of you Guardians already know it. I know there's a lot of you in chat who are fantastic cooks. But these recipes, they're subjective in the fact that you can add some different ingredients. You don't always have to stick exactly with the same ingredients. Your mom, your dad, your family may have totally made this a little bit different from what I'm making it. Oh, Mr. Glass, give me a bowl. Send me a bowl over. I would love it. Now, my mushrooms are starting to get that look of being cooked. And they're decreasing in volume because a lot of that moisture is cooking right out. Now, I haven't added a lot of salt to any of the ingredients because the dashi stock, it was salty. So I'm not going to add a lot of salt to this. Mr. Glass, what kind of mushroom do you guys use? What kind of mushrooms do you use? Nick collects in gaming bottoms. I took a shortcut on the noodles. I actually store-bought the noodles, but they are fresh noodles. They are fresh. Now, are these starting to turn a little bit golden brown? Yes, they are. Let's give them a moment more. Now, Guardians, I have with me a really phenomenal cup. This is white tea. I double bagged my white tea. There's no sugar in here. It's just white tea and lemon. I squeeze the lemons fresh daily. That is so good. I need to make Eva Levante a cup of coffee. She's been asking for it, but this is white tea today. So tasty. Now, the mushrooms are looking really like they could start getting ready to come out. And I see that a lot of them are brown. Some of those bigger slices that I sliced on camera could probably use a few more moments, but they'll tender up. When I take them up on the plate, they're actually going to sit in their own heat, and they will continue to tender up. I'm going to actually put them in a bowl. She says plate them, which actually could be, just taking them off the heat source. Look at those. They look absolutely phenomenal. Let's get them in a bowl because we're going to have to move on to another step. So many steps in this. It reminds me of back home, being with my family, when we would prepare really big meals on Easter, Thanksgiving, Christmas, 4th of July. And the meals were very distinct depending on what the holiday was. We would have never made this. All right, now I probably need just a tad more oil in there. Let's put a little oil. It's starting to brown in the bottom, so I need to get in my onions first. These are leeks. That's hot. That's hot. I hope my fire extinguishers don't go off. Or smoke alarm, rather. I probably need to open the back door because it will set it off. Now these leeks need to just really cook for a bit because I want these to tender up. I want the leeks to tender up. And I need to put in the garlic. Let's refer to the recipe as those cook. In the same pot, add another teaspoon of canola oil. I did. Add the leeks and the garlic and cook until softened. Now, I'm going to put the leeks in really first, which I did, and then I want to put the garlic in because garlic can burn very easily. It can burn very easily. This is chopped garlic, about 5 cloves. And those were large cloves. You could use more or less depending on how spicy, how garlicky, get out of here, you like your dish. But garlic has a very low burn tolerance, so you want to just keep a watch on that. I'm not going to leave it in there long. I want a little bit more oil. Oh, it smells so good. Guardians, I wish you were here because I would share this with you. There's going to be a lot of ramen noodles to go around. And I've got a lot of ramen noodles, so we could all have a bowl. Now that's looking good. I like how that looks. I'm just going to reduce the heat for a moment. And then let's go to the next step. Let's go to the next step. Leeks and garlic, 3 minutes, yes. Add the kimchi juice, the gochujang.
Gochujang.
Gochujang. Oh, Guardians. I mean, I'm not even going to try to attempt that. So let's look at this. We need to add the kimchi. This kimchi I made here at home. I need to get, the recipe up, although she doesn't really have the recipe in the book. It's not in the book. It's just something you have to find on your own. Or you could store buy the kimchi. But I made it from scratch. I followed the queen of Asian cooking, who is Mangy on YouTube. She is the queen of Asian cooking. And I followed her recipe, and it's really good. It's really good. Now, that is kimchi, and if you've never had kimchi before, and I'm going to say that it was much later in life when I actually had some kimchi. I was in LA, and I had kimchi for the first time. But I have been to Japan and experienced, culture in Japan. I've been over there several times, and the ramen noodle bowl, it's a staple in Japan. If you go to Japan, ramen noodle, you want the real deal. You want to go to a restaurant where they're actually going to make it for you right then, right there. So this was the kimchi. Let me give you the ingredients that I used. Kimchi, how much did we use? 1.5 cups kimchi cut into bite-sized pieces. And mine was cut into smaller pieces when I made it. I did not use big, gigantic pieces when I cut it up. And the base for kimchi is a red pepper paste. And then the cabbage, it's like a Napa cabbage. You're going to use a Napa cabbage in your kimchi. And maybe one day I'll do a video making the kimchi because it is really special. I grew up making sauerkraut, pickled beans, and corn. They're fermented and they have a really wonderful sour taste, and I like that. And kimchi reminds me of that, and the process is similar to that. So let's go back to the recipe book. Kimchi, add the dashi broth and the crisp mushrooms. Okay, dashi broth and the crisp mushrooms. 2 quarts of dashi. So in go the mushrooms. Get in there. Tap it, spank it, get it out. In it goes. I'm going to give it a stir. And then she wants the dashi stock added. Let's let this warm up thoroughly. Get it warmed up. Now on the overhead camera, you can see this has a beautiful color to it. And the aroma is exceptional. It's starting to smell like it needs to smell to be the way we want it to be. So let's go back now. We're double checking the recipe. Kimchi, yes. The kimchi juice, yes. The gochujang and the red miso paste. And the soy sauce. So these 3 I need to get in. Let's get the soy sauce in. I love soy sauce. Take a bath in soy sauce. Yum. It's delicious. Soy sauce. The red miso paste. Now this is pepper paste. This is pepper paste. Let me get a smaller spoon. Proper tools, smaller spoon. I happen to have a whole system over here of tools. The red miso paste is pepper. This is ground pepper. And I didn't make this here, although I do have a lot of dried peppers that were dried here at home. All right, let's get this stirred up. I'm going to set that over there. Might need it again. Get that red miso paste. And I want to show you what I'm using here. This is the miso paste, organic miso. And not something I buy. Like if I don't make the ramen noodles again, I will probably never use this full container. And then I need to put in the gochujang.
Gochugaru.
Oh, they're correcting me. But yeah, this is a paste that adds a lot of flavor and taste. And I know some of you have worked with this stuff in the past. You can laugh at me because I laugh at myself by not knowing all these things. But listen, there's a lot of cuisines out there. There's a lot of different flavor profiles around the world. So it's difficult to be familiar with all of it, you know, if what you do full time is gaming. And I'm a gamer. Destiny 2, it's my favorite game. And this is one of the main characters, one of the characters that has had the biggest impact on the game. Clyde-6, he had a sense of humor, he was fun, he was goofy, he had misadventures, he had heroic adventures. He basically did it all. This was his go-to dish. Now, what do I need to add? We need to get the dashi stock in. Is this cooled off enough for me to handle it? I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use my big measuring cup and just pull some of this out and dump it in because we're ready. I'm going to get my measuring cup and pull some of this out. Now this is hot. Be careful. If you're underage, seek a guardian or a parent to help you with this. It's hot. Queen, how are you? Thank you for hanging out with me. This is not something I would make on a regular basis. And she actually calls for, you know, all this ramen stock. Every bit of it. Am I going to use that much? I kind of like mine to be dense with goodies. Dense with goodies. And the more of the stock you put in here, you know, the fewer goodies you'll have in a bowl because it will be filled with the stock. But I'm going to add a little bit more. I'm going to try to stay true to the recipe. That way, if it all goes bad, I can blame Victoria Rosenthal. But I have made this before. I gave it a trial run a couple of months ago and loved it. So I feel safe in saying that this is going to be delicious. All right, I think I've added enough of that for my taste right now. We might come back and utilize the rest. Now, I'm going to scoop this where you can see it on the overhead camera. Looking phenomenal, but we're not done yet. We are not done yet. We're heading into the portions that we're going to add to the bowl. So I just want to recap this. I want to recap in case you're making it home. The chicken has been made earlier. I will do at some point, I'll do a video and get this chicken up because I do have 2 prior videos about the dashi stock and then the eggs that I'm going to show you. And we also have that secret ingredient that I want to talk about. Well, it's not secret. It's just a rare ingredient, sake. We're going to get to that. We're going to get to the sake. I promise. So we did the chicken with the special seasoning, which was the sashimi togarashi. We've cooked that. It's ready to go. We got the dashi stock. There's a video available on that. We got the mushrooms. We cooked the kimchi and the special spices. Now we need to get ready. We need to get ready to start bowling this stuff, to put it in a bowl and get it ready to serve. So what I'm going to do is clean up my mess because I have a lot of ingredients here, but they are to be added to the bowl. You know, if you were doing this at home, you would have this ready to go, and this would be for your guest, and they could pick and choose. I'm going to pull them all over and get ready. I'll be right back, Guardians. Don't go anywhere. The best parts are coming. I'll be right back. All right, Guardians, I am back. I'm just, you know, I like to keep my mess. I like to stay ahead of it. I'm going to pull a few things over because these are actually items that are going to go on the side or on the top. You know, they're for presentation and taste and flavor. Now, I'm going to pull my noodles over. I have, you know, my main ingredients here. These are toppings. Let's get right into it. Let's get this lid off. My water is boiling. These noodles are fresh, and so I actually want the noodles to cook down for about 2 minutes. These are fresh ramen noodles, and I'm going to say this, you know, definitely go the distance, get the fresh noodles, or, you know, ransom. That's me. Make your own noodles. Next time, we'll make noodles from scratch. I've put in several quarts of water. This is about 3 quarts of water. It's boiling. We're going to drop these in. These only take about 2 minutes because they are fresh. And the author, Victoria Rosenthal, she recommends that you actually, you know, rinse and cool, or not the author, but the package. But I don't want to wash my noodles because I'm happy with the noodles being just the way they are, right out of the water. So we want to have these in for about 2 minutes, and then I'm going to take them back up in my container and have these, and we're going to start plating. We will start, or bowling, but plating's a generic term, meaning you're going to be removing it from the cooking source or the container that it came in and placing it into a bowl, a pot, whatever container you're going to be serving to your guest. So, and that's a really important part because looks, you saw the picture in the cookbook. I'm going to show it to you one more time because she certainly knew how to photograph this. And remember, we've still got the sake coming up. The photograph is absolutely beautiful. It's half the battle, half the battle. So we're going to cook these noodles for 2 minutes. You don't want to overcook them. And we need to start preparing the bowl. She says start preparing the bowl. Now I have here some authentic noodle bowls, authentic noodle spoons. And I just love these. This is a little pattern. This is a cherry blossom. And cherry blossoms are a very important part of Japanese culture. Now, these are boiling. And I've probably chatted for more than 2 minutes here. So we're going to start getting these plated. We're going to do one on camera. And then I'm hungry. I skipped breakfast today just to be able to have these. You know, I think these are probably 2 minutes. I mean, Tech, don't you think that 2 minutes?
It's almost been 2 minutes, yeah.
Because that's quick. That happens in a flash. So I'm going to pull these out. If I can, come on, stay with me. I've got a special tool just for these, but I was hoping I could grab them with this and let them drain, because you could actually put these into another container because you don't want them to stay in this water. To stop the cooking, you would want to cool these down. That's way too many. That's way too many. I would never be able to eat that many noodles. Well, I could if it was my one meal. If that was my one meal, you know, if I just had that one meal, I would eat a lot of those noodles. And then they usually like to rotate them. Let's get them to the side. And I'm going to try to take up some of these other noodles because my technical assistants, they want a big bowl. Everybody wants a big bowl, and everybody gets a big bowl. So I'm going to take these up, get them out of that water. And you would want to take these to the sink or have an ice bath ready to stop, you know, the cooking process. All right, now we got those out. And we can now start working on getting the, and I want my presentation. I want you to see it. So I'm going to remove my heat source, my noodles, and get this set up for the 2 big showstoppers. I'm going to take this out. I'll be right back. All right, Chad, I am back. Thank you so much. We're going to pull the chicken over. It's time to bring it all together. This is the spicy ramen noodle bowl. I'm going to bring all my ingredients. It's kind of, you know, think about like a salad bar, and you want to prep your salad bar the way that you like it. So I've got a few things here for the top of my ramen noodle bowl. So we have the chicken, we have the greens, the scallions, we have this very special ingredient. I'm going to come back to this. We'll do this last. Bean sprouts. This is nori. And nori is another one of those seaweed. Chat or tech, this is seaweed, right?
Yep.
This is just called nori, and it's very thin seaweed. I don't know if you can see that. I'll put the overhead camera. It's very thin seaweed. Now, confession, this is going on digital. Am I a fan of nori? No. Maybe if you put a lot of cream cheese and jam on it and rolled it up, or, used it in sushi, something to that extent. But I'm not a huge fan of it. We're going to use it here because she says these are some of the accompanying items that you would want to use. So I need to get my big spoon, and I want to put a piece of nori in. I'm going to tear this, put it on the side. We want to, the better you look, the better you do. Color shaders matter. And let's get that in a couple of pieces, because there are people that really like nori. Now, can the camera pick this up, a little bit of it? This is our main ingredient that we're going to be using. And I'm going to scoop it. This is the mushrooms, the kimchi, the dashi stock. And I want to get a lot of that juice in here. And this is where I probably should have used... You stand up, nori. You stand up. I probably should have used the full amount of the dashi stock. We're going to bring that over. I have the nori. We're going to want to put in some of this chicken. Just lay it on the side. Let's put a little bit of the white up so that you can see it. Presentation. Meatloaf can be your #1 item if it looks good. And this is skin-on chicken thighs. I talked about it at the beginning. Let's put a few pieces in there. I like it meaty. Then let's talk about one of the eggs. Wipe my hands down. The eggs are very special. These eggs, I'm going to talk to you about them. These are Ajitsuki tamagos. Page 79, Ajitsuki tamago. And they're really, can you see these on camera? These eggs are really something special. I hope that they are done correctly. I've only done these twice. It's a soft-boiled egg, and I normally don't eat my soft-boiled eggs soft-boiled. I eat them hard. I eat hard-boiled eggs. So, Ajitsu tamagos, 4 eggs. I actually fixed 5. 1/2 cup soy sauce, 1/4 cup sugar, 1/4 cup mirin, and 1/4 cup sake. And I actually used real sake from Japan. I mean, that's really, if you're using sake from somewhere else, it's not the real deal. You have to use sake from Japan.
You want to show them the picture again?
You boil these.
Face side up. Turn it the other way. There you go. There you go. That's it.
Is that better?
Now it's upside down again.
Now it's upside down. All right. But they're soft boiled, and you boil them for 6.5 minutes, and you put them in an ice bath and hope that they don't get too done on you. And then you submerge them and let them set. Can you see this? All right, bring it back to me. Beautifully done. Beautifully done. Now, let's go ahead and cut a few of these and see if I got one. Yes, I did. I'm a pro. They should be paying me for this. All right, let's get these in my dish. Glorious. I actually kind of want to cut another one. I mean, why not, right? Yes, perfection. We'll do 3 little eggs. We'll get them in there. Now let's go in for some bean sprouts. I'm not a fan of bean sprouts. We'll get a few of them in. We'll get a few of the chives in, just as garnish and flavor. And then, you know, let's top it off, or some bean sprouts and the chives. Let's top it off with some crispy bacon that I made just hour and a half ago. Crispy, delicious bacon. Stay down, Nori. And then, this is not in the book, but I actually like to come in with just a little squeeze of lemon. It brightens it right up. It gives it a wonderful, fresh addition to all those flavors that we've got. And then I want to come in with my authentic spoon. But in Japan, you know, people really, chopsticks. They really use chopsticks in a lot of parts of the world. Japan, China, a lot of the Asian countries will use chopsticks. Can I use a chopstick and, you know, actually get a full meal? No. I'm going to need a spoon and a fork. That's what I will need. So this bowl is beautifully done. This is my ramen bowl, and it you know, it's going to be good. Let's dig in and give it a try. I want a little piece of that chicken and bacon. I'm a meat eater. Oh, let me get some of that kimchi, some of that dashi stock. Guardians, chat. I'm going to be direct with you. This was a lot of work. This really was a lot of work. It took a lot of time to make all this stuff, prepare it, get all these ingredients together. Like I said earlier, I felt like this was a holiday meal, like we would have fixed back home, but we would have had turkey, ham, chickens. This is just a different take on it. And so get back here, bacon. Oh my God. Now, I'm going to try, let me get a regular spoon. I'm American. Shout out to Guardians everywhere. I want to try this egg. And a little bit of that dashi stock, a mushroom. Oh. Guardians, that egg. It is really like the icing on top. Except this case, it's an egg on top. So good. Now, leave a comment, like and subscribe. Check out my other videos. Check out the dashi stock. Check out how I made these really phenomenally tasty sake eggs. These are ramen eggs. Just delicious. And come and play with me inside the game of Destiny 2. I love Destiny 2. It's a big part of my life, and it has been since Destiny came out, Destiny 1. I invite all of you to hang out with me in my live stream. In fact, after I finish my ramen bowl, I'll be going to my studio, and I will be streaming Destiny 2. I need to be making orbs. I need to be throwing grenades. I am Ransom Rider. I hope you have enjoyed my journey into the Destiny official cookbook as we made the spicy ramen bowl, Clyde-6's favorite. Thank each and every one of you for hanging out with me. I hope you've enjoyed today. Leave those comments, like and subscribe. I'll see you very soon inside the gaming world of Destiny 2. Bye. Bye. Thank you, chat. Thank you. Bye. I'm going to eat some more of this. I love it. I absolutely can't get over how good it is. I'm just going to munch. I'm going to get some of that special chicken and get some of that dashi stock and some of the bacon. Big bites. Big bites.